Okay, let's look at the stock market technical analysis. We'll look at the charts, see what they're telling us for today. If you guys are finding value in the channel, please drop me a thumbs up. Just click a button. It's very easy. If you're interested in additional trade ideas, additional market commentary, stock market setups, things like that, feel free to join the private member group. Link in the description below. All right, triple Qs. There's some support right here about 421.75-ish. I can see on the daily chart we had that reaction low right there, very obvious, and then you had a big gap up the following day. That's actually, I believe, the NVIDIA gap up. I think we gapped up there on that day. I'll double check that. That's from the 21st of February. So I think that's the NVIDIA gap up. So yeah, there should be some support there for sure. Let's drop down to an hourly chart. On the hourly, I can see we're kind of walking down this trend line right here on the hourly, and then you can see there's that support level again, 421.75-ish. So I think we're probably going to see a bounce there. And then if I drop down to the 15-minute chart, just kind of really small time frame, you can see, look, resistance. We're kind of just walking down this trend line. But on the 15, we have bullish divergence showing up on the PPO and the RSI. So what does that tell me? Here's what I'm thinking. I think we're going to see a little rally, but I think we probably need to flush out down to this 420, kind of flush out down here. Then we'll rally, break this trend line and rally up to resistance, which is about 433.75 or so. If I go back to the daily chart, there's the daily rollout. That's the trading range. That's the bottom of that trading range that we were in for about a month. So that should be resistance. Okay. So that's kind of the trading plan that I have right now. If you want to trade it, you could wait for the break of that 15-minute chart. They might gap it up though. Again, I think we're going to hit some support about 421.75-ish or so. So that's really all I have on the triple Qs. Let's jump over to NVIDIA. The gap up is, right there. So this is the earnings gap up that they had. And that is that level I pointed out on the triple Q. So gap up on earnings. So that should, there should be support there. Also, NVIDIA seems to be holding this support zone kind of right in here, anywhere from about 853 down to about 825. And that seems to be support. So that has to break. And if that breaks, I think you have a relatively quick move down, probably to that earnings gap. All right. You probably come in and fill that earnings gap. We'll go ahead and mark that out. So that is the potential, a quick flush down to the earnings gap. The buyers most definitely will be sitting there. They should at least. And yeah, that would be a potential move. So keep an eye out for that one. Also, Apple's interesting. You can see it's selling down. It's pretty much completely taken out that breakout candle. It's sold down now. Still kind of sitting around support, so you could see buyers step in soon, but definitely kind of taking out anybody that thought that was a breakout or bought that as a breakout. Tesla continuing to kind of get crushed. Earnings coming up though, and if I roll out on the daily, there is this gap way back here. This was all the way back in January of 23. There's a gap. We're just about to fill that gap. It's pretty much, basically filling it, maybe a little lower, but there should be some buyers right around here. We also have bullish divergence on the daily, and we are coming into earnings for this one. So this is a bullish setup. I think I definitely wouldn't want to be short, or if you are short, it seems to, make sense to, I don't know. I would take profit coming into earnings. Earnings is next week. So next Tuesday. Okay. Interest rates, 10-year treasury, rallying again today. So I don't see any change in the trend here on the 10-year interest rates, and the market is taking notice. All right. The market's falling. We've started a sell-off. And it's all predicated on these interest rates. It has nothing to do with any of the news headlines or any of that. It's all interest rates. And the fact that the interest rates are rising has pretty much removed the Fed's ability to cut. All right. So again, just like we were rallying, into the year based on 6 interest rate cuts, it was all just nothing. It was a narrative. that pumped the market up. Well, that narrative's being priced out, essentially, and that's why we're seeing the market sell off. Let's take a look at the VIX. The VIX, the VIX has obviously started to come to life, but we haven't seen any kind of, I don't think we've really seen any real rapid explosion to the upside in the VIX. So it indicates to me that this downside move in the market is not finished. When you see people rushing and to buy protection from more downside, you'll see the VIX spike up, and that usually can give us a clue in terms of where the market's going to find some support. Because when everybody has put protection, the market can't go down too much more because they're hedged. All right, so that is I think the VIX has an opportunity to run. There's a potential downtrend line here on the VIX to kind of keep an eye on. So we might spike up and hit that downtrend line. It's around 21-ish. And we could also run up there's this range here on the VIX. This is kind of the top of the range where it's been at for many years now. A spike up into that, which is about 38, would kind of indicate maybe the end of a downside move. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, and I'm just going to run through a bunch of trade ideas and setups that I see in the market. So guys, please give me a thumbs up if you're finding value. Visa, all right, negative divergence, boom, right there. This is a big negative divergence. This one is on breakdown and sell signal. Again, you had some support right in here. All right, boom, that support's taken out. Once that's taken out, now it's resistance. So you break down, you rally into resistance, they're selling it down. Okay, so we should, very likely, it's high probability, no guarantees, of course, that we head down to the 200-day and this next level of support. It's about 254-ish, all right? So that's what I see, or the 200-day, whichever one, it's a zone of support down there. Okay, PHM, rates are rising. Remember that. Interest rates rising, bad for rate-sensitive stocks like home builders. So PHM, this is a home builder, Pulte Homes. It's on sell signal. Again, bearish rising wedge, negative divergence, telling us that there's likely a trend change. Sell signal, the sell signal really came, you started to kind of break it here, but this gap down right here is a definitive sell signal. So that, we'll just say that's our sell signal. All right. And then you can take the widest part of the wedge to get kind of a measured target for at least this initial move. And it's about here. Take it at the point of breakdown. I've already got it marked out, but again, that puts us down to the 200-day moving average. Okay. So this one is, continue. And then we also had some support. This was resistance here. Then it was support right here. Break support 2 days ago. Rally into resistance, rejected. Should head down to next level of support. It's about $100. Probably get a bounce there. And then, but ultimately, again, that measured target is that 200 days. So it's, it's down there at like 92-ish. So this is on the sell signal. It should continue lower. Abercrombie and Fitch, A&F. I think it's lights out for this thing. We'll see. But in general, this thing just marched up this basically straight up all the way from about, $23 to $142. So massive 800% increase. Again, then we started to build negative divergence. I was pointing it out on the channel, well in advance. But big negative divergence. And we broke, all right? Broke, back tested. They made it look like it was going to recover, but rejection. This is distribution, all right? You basically sell out your volume on your, institutions are dumping large positions. They kind of give it a rest for a few days. The dumb money piles in and buys the dip, and then boom, they hit it again. So now we're starting to really, now we're starting to take out some support levels, and I don't see any real definitive support on this thing till we get down to, well, for one, probably the 200-day. All right, you probably hit that and they should step in and buy the 200-day. When I say they, algorithms, institutions, they're programmed to buy that. So you should hit that, and then, but I don't see any real decent support price action wise till about $50. And rolling out, that's your former high. All right, so that's a good setup. It's working. Well, it's an actionable trade. I mean, I'm in this one, so it's not only a setup, it's an actionable trade. Okay, this one is still a setup. Very good setup, but not actionable yet. Schwab, SCHW. All right, they're a broker dealer basically. This one you've got a bearish rising wedge on the daily chart. you've got negative divergence, and you don't have a sell signal. So if or when we break this triangle, this wedge, that would be your sell signal, and we should push right down to the 200. Widest part of the wedge, take it to the point of the breakdown if it happens soon. That's actually putting us down lower than the 200. Looks like there's some support right in about there. So yeah, so that's a good trade setup. Not actionable yet, but we will we'll see. With the market on breakdown, I suspect we're going to get a breakdown in this soon. It'll probably gap down, some news event or something. Earnings is out of the way, so we'll see. GE. So this one on the daily chart, just a couple things to watch. It's a setup, but not a sell signal. You've got negative divergence on the RSI, not really there on the PPO. So we'll see on that one. But you do have a trend line to watch. Support, support, support. Okay, if you break the trend line, you should head down to what looks like a larger support trend line, which is right down here. This thing's in an upward price channel. So potential trade idea down to the bottom of the channel. Not my favorite. Moving on. ELF, this one looks like it's bear flagging. So again, this one had a bearish rising wedge, negative divergence, back testing this former support line right here. There's support, and it did a perfect back test. Again, that's the most objective area to short at. You know, it's very objective to short a back test of resistance with negative divergence. And if you did, you've been paid for it. Now, to me, it looks like it's bear flagging. So you kind of got this flag, you know, this impulsive leg down. And, you know, you could even maybe call this the flag. This is actually really the flag. It's about here. Impulsive leg down, then you got the flag, and then you've got, you know, kind of a continuation or a potential continuation down to the 200-day moving average, about 140.50 as of right now. So I think it probably just drops straight down to that, and that would be the major target. So you could wait for it to break the flag to confirm, or, you know, you do what you want. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I'm going to continue to post additional trade ideas in the private member group. So if you want those, link in the description below. $5 a month, cancel at any time. Pretty much no obligation. All right, so I will wrap up. Thanks, guys. Catch you on the next one.